crafty friends, this week I've been playing with uniquely creative Accordian Folio, and I've done my first double page. I've been playing with the Everyday Junk collection from Photoplay, and all I've done is I've used all my elements from 4 sheets of paper to do these 2 pages in my Accordian Folio. I've used the paper called Humble, Archive, Music Notes and Letter. Now, first of all, what I've done is I've used part of the page on Humble to do my background with the first 2 double sides, and then I cut my elements out and arrange them on the page. You can see I sort of fuss around with the pieces here and there to see where they best lay, but I really enjoyed it. I'm just inking with the brown ink. I think I'm using ground espresso in this one, and just gluing my pages down. I've kept it really simple, no mixed media, no texture paste or splatters or anything like that, just playing for the sake of playing with paper, which we don't tend to do very often, and I think it was just fun just to play around and put elements down. So I've cut my pages down. Now I think the album from memory is 6 by 8, so all I've done is knocked off, say, 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch, so that they just have a little bit of a craft border around the edges. Okay, next I have taken the element sheet called Archive, and I have cut off one of that's got like a whole bunch of 3x4s and 4x6 elements on it, and I've just cut down one of those little cards and then reduced it right down so that it's just got the library card part and the floral and the word notes. So I've just trimmed those down. There's so many elements on that sheet, lots and lots of labels, so this would feed, literally these 4 sheets would fill most of my journal, I think, along with some plain backgrounds. There's just so much in this great collection. They've just released a new shabby one that's in soft pinks, which I can't wait to get my hands on. Again, inking my edges gives them a little bit of a shadow, make them stand out from the pages behind them. And I've not used a lot of foam tape, so I haven't used a lot of bulk. In actual fact, pretty much everything's either glued down or taped down, just so that it all sits pretty flush. I've also cut some smaller tags. That little archive, I've just used that to overlay as well, just to give it a little bit more interest. Sometimes I find I look at papers and you feel like they're all done. You don't need to do anything for them to make them interesting. But I love to pull pieces apart and lay them down and rearrange them. Isn't that what the hobby's all about? Papercraft. So I won't bore you too much with my chat because that's a little bit dull. But here I've cut out the measuring tape pieces. Now this one here, I start out with cutting the corner, and that corner is sitting, I'm just checking my papers here, that corner is sitting on the back of the sheet Humble, and I initially cut the entire corner out and I couldn't quite get it to fit and I couldn't quite get it to look right, and then I ended up trimming it right down and removing some of the outside decorative work on all the outside background papers on it, so it just looked like layers of tape measures on top of one another. So you'll see I fuss around with it a little bit until I get it just the way I want it to look, so that it looks like a separate piece and it looks like it's been laid on top rather than just blended in with the paper. So you'll see that I move it around a few times and trying to decide where it fits best, and I think I eventually end up settling on the left hand corner there on the first page. Yep, not there, too long. Yeah, and this is where you can see I cut away some of the excess. I'm loving those scissors, by the way. I wouldn't have thought that I ever needed another pair of scissors, but they are the Tim Holtz Recoil Scissors. And when Tracy Scott was visiting us and teaching, I looked at them and I said, oh my God, I can't believe that you've fallen for these scissors. This is just crazy. And she said, have a go with them because I really love them and I would be absolutely devastated if I forgot to take them out of my luggage and left them in my hand luggage, and they got taken away at the airport. So it was a bit of a running joke while she was here. So I had a go with them, and I have to say I really love them. They're really nice scissors, and they come with an extra spring in them to stiffen them up a little bit, because the spring that they're actually packaged with is a little bit light. And I have to say I really like them. I hate admitting to that because I try not to fall for every new thing that's on the market, but those ones I did. So you can see here that library tag, what I've done is I've only glued it on two sides, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another tag later on, and I'm going to tuck it in behind with some fabric tied to it, so that it just is a little interactive element on the page. So I've eventually settled with where I'm going to put this measuring tape piece. Well, almost, no, yep, now I've definitely settled on it into the corner there. And on the tag sheet, and so the tag sheet is actually called letter, I've just cut out one of the tags and trimmed it down, and then I've used that as a base for adding some other little bits and pieces. On the sheet music notes, that has got lots and lots of tickets. It's got some cloches, as well as some imagery that's got foliage and that sort of thing on it as well. And it's also got the title fulfilled, which is what I've used as the title for my page. Now that little tool I'm using there, that's the WRMK circle hole punch. I love it. It's so good. Again, I try not to fall for the latest tools, but I do own a lot of circle punches, and I often don't have them handy with me, and I have to say I really like that one because I think it gives you 4 or 5 different size circles. Really easy to line up as well. The only downside is it's super heavy, but that said, it goes through really a large amount of thick material, so I have to say I really like that one too. So we've got that one on our website. I think we're out of stock of that at the moment, but if you do like it, and same with the Recoil Scissors, and if we're out of stock, just put a note in the back orders and we'll definitely get them back in if you're interested. I know I try not to push too hard with products and stuff when I do this, but sometimes I do find things that I wish had been around ages ago, and now I've got all these punches that I want to get rid of. So, you know, I'm all about condensing down what I've got so that I've got space for all these little bits and pieces instead of all the tools that take up so much room. So you can see I've added a little bit of shredded linen fabric there. I use linen fabric a lot. Here I've cut out a bunch of little bits off of this music notes sheet in Photoplay. We've still got plenty of this collection left, so if you do like it, on the video it looks quite yellow. It's not as yellow as it appears. It's just the lighting. I've done this at home, so the lighting's a little bit yellow, unfortunately. I've tried to lighten it up as best as possible. So what I've done is I've picked up one of the little floral links there, and then I've tucked that in behind the title fulfilled, just to define it as well. And I think I did put that one up on foam. I'll have to wait and see what I do with it. Let's forget what I've done until I see it again. Yep, foam tape definitely. So I think that's about the only thing that I put foam tape on. It is an accordion folio, so it does allow for a lot of space, and it will allow you to expand the spine a lot. So it gives you a lot of play in there, and you can add things that fold out and tip out, etc., etc. But I didn't want to put too much bulk on this. It was really just about the papers, and I wanted to play with all the little elements, and I was in the mood for something kind of vintage and shabby. So then I've cut out a little foliage piece off the same sheet of music notes, and I'm just going to adhere that also to the tag. So when you pull the tag out, it's got a few elements on it, and it's interesting. And you could turn the tag over and journal on the back of it, make some notes on it. These kind of journals, some people say to them, what are they for? Well, they're really just a self-expression thing. They're really just here to make you feel happy and enjoy the pleasure of playing with paper. I think nowadays we get people come into the shop a lot and they say, oh, you know, I've got so many cards and I don't know what to do with them all. I get it, totally. I have got so many cards that I haven't given away or I haven't donated to charities, and I have to say, but I just love playing with paper. I love looking at new things. I love expressing myself through beautiful things. And so that's why I do it, and I don't think I really need any other reason than that. There's a little quote here. The quote is quite cute that I've cut out. I'm still learning to love the parts of myself that no one claps for. Well, that's true, isn't it? People don't clap for everything, and you shouldn't expect people to clap for you either. So sometimes I get in my own head and I need to just do little expressions on there that remind me how to just basically put one foot in front of the other and enjoy each day. Okay, so I finished my tag. I'm getting close to the end. And what I've done is I've just put a little bit of black pencil. Now that's a Stabilo oil pencil, but also you can use your Prisma color pencils, or your polychromos, or you can use a pastel pencil, or even a watercolor pencil, or just even a gel pen. But what I do is I just go around the edges of some of the elements just so that it gives them some definition, because you remember that little tag that's sitting over the library card, that's actually all one piece of paper. So by just adding a little bit of definition around it, it makes it pop out a little bit. Now, I was in a collagey kind of mood, so what I did was I took some tissue paper from one of the collage papers that Tim Holtz does, and, oh, hang on, no, that wasn't Tim Holtz, that was a Paper Artsy one actually, and that moth, I've just basically run a little bit of water and a paintbrush around it, and then I've just collaged it down with some rice paper glue or some collage medium. In fact, I've used the Paper Artsy matte medium there. Really nice, silky smooth, goes down without any brush strokes, really lovely, and really low water content, so it doesn't sort of buckle the paper underneath or anything like that. And I've just collaged that out, smoothed it out, and then dried it off. And I've done the same thing. There's a couple of bits where I accidentally tore a little bit of his wing off, and so I come back with a pencil and just touch it up. And just also go around it so that it just has a little bit more definition and it pops out a little bit more. And at the end of this video, I've got a picture of the final project, and hopefully you can just see that the little moth now kind of sticks out a little bit more, and it helps to blend it into the page, I suppose. So just about done. I think this one took me less than an hour. The video is 15 minutes, obviously, because it's sped up, but I have a really short attention span, so I think anything where there's a project that I can really have a play for about an hour and get some pleasure, that's, to me, the best mental health addition you could possibly get, I think. There we go, tuck the tag back in. And we call that done. Oh, or do we? What am I doing? Oh, no, sorry, one more butterfly. That was also on the music notes. Yes, I did think it needed some more butterflies on the other side. It was a little bit bland on the left-hand side there, so I've cut out a butterfly. Now, on that page there are so many elements. You could add so much more to this page if you wanted to, but I didn't want it to look too cluttered, and I wanted the focal point to sort of be the title and the little cluster on the right hand side. So again, sometimes more is more and sometimes less is less. That's another one of those things that I have to admit to really liking, is that glue press from Misty, My Sweet Petunia. We don't have them in stock, but I do really like it. There we go, there's a finished project, lightened up a little bit so you can see the colours are a little bit more true to form. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I've given you some inspiration to go home and have a play. You'll find those papers and the folios on our website if you have an interest.